The clubhouse was packed more chairs, more whispers, more phones recording. A local reporter stood in back with a notebook. Marla sat up front with Greg and Tina, their laptops like shields. The HOA slideshow waited with the usual Hajjan trash can photos. Andre came in quiet. Same seat, same bag, same water bottle. The room settled. Marla tapped the mic. We're reconvening the hearing for 214 Orchard Bend. Our counsel advises. Andre stood, steady as turning a page. Before we start, a disclosure. He set down his bag, opened a small leather wallet, and showed the room not the Bortha badge. Andre Collins, FBI Cyber Division. I'm here as a private homeowner, he said, but I've referred this evidence to the Bureau and the U.S. Attorney for review. The room went still. Greg's mouth opened. No words came. Marla's smile frayed. Andre laid a slim binder on the table, tabs neat, packet captures, radio logs, time-stamped screenshots, witness statements under penalty of perjury, draft subpoenas if needed, and a memo from our FAA contact on suspected illegal drone flights masked ID. Flights over private property, possible line-of-sight violations. He plugged in his Palm computer. The screen showed a simple map. HOA Clubhouse Router gives Drone Controller S, gives Cloud Storage Compliance _evidence. Lines pulsed with captured traffic. Labels showed the dull poetry of numbers. Leases, max. A port forward named Drone_SYNC. You didn't just break rules, Andre said evenly. You broke laws. Marla gripped the mic. Mr. Collins, we have counsel, and you'll want them, he said. Moving to the next slide, bylaws versus law. Left column. HOA terms field of view documentation. Standards enforcement, common area monitoring. Right column. State privacy law, voyeurism. Possible wiretap audio, computer misuse, FAA limits. Selective enforcement and civil rights. He kept his voice calm, like a teacher before a test. Your bylaw says you can document visible violations from common areas. Your drone aimed at bathroom and bedroom windows. That isn't visible from common areas. That's intrusion. Your devices authenticate through the Clubhouse router to a bucket called compliance_evidence, and your fines fall hardest on certain residents. That's a pattern. Natalie's live stream count climbed. The reporter wrote faster. Greg tried for swagger and found a tremor. We're protecting the neighborhood. We can film what we can see. This is our airspace. Airspace is federal, Andre said. You don't own the sky. And the FAA doesn't license peeping. What you can see from the sidewalk isn't what you can hover outside a window. Your own files show that. He switched to resident impact, dates, redacted names, and citations. The curve on the chart made the point without speeches. Andre closed the binder and held up 3 fingers. You have 3 choices. 1. Reform. Immediate resignations. Public apology. Refund every fine tied to drone footage. New policy. No aerial surveillance without a court order. Independent ombuds. Transparent logs. Training on bias and how to step in. 2. Litigation. We file civil suits today and move forward with criminal referrals, wireism, stalking, unauthorized surveillance. Computer misuse, subpoenas, discovery. Your compliance_evidence becomes Exhibit A. Federal investigation. Full discovery, device imaging, depositions, and press. No NDAs. No quiet. He let the room breathe. Marla forced a smile. This is dramatic. This is documentation, he said. Drama was a drone at a nursery and a bathroom window. Tina whispered. We didn't know it was like that. You were told, Andre said. Not unkind, just steady. Residents asked. You doubled down. He turned to the neighbors. No one here is powerless. You can demand resignations, install an interim manager, require outside oversight. Choose reform, restitution, or litigation. A chair scraped. Deborah Kay said, "Resign." Another voice joined. Then more. The word rolled forward. Resign. Marla stared at the map on the screen, the arrow to compliance _ evidence. The straight line of her choices. Andre didn't gloat. He placed another envelope on the table. Preservation notice and a resignation template. If you choose option 1, repairs start now, refunds within 14 days. Policy posted in 30, training scheduled in 48 hours. Greg swallowed. And if we don't? Then we proceed with 2 and 3, Andre said. I don't bluff. He unplugged the cable. The screen went black. Phones kept recording. The reporter kept writing. Outside, no drone hummed. Inside, a board ran out of places to hide, and the neighborhood felt power move to the floor. By morning, the HOA hid behind procedure. At 7:12 a.m., Marla emailed the board and a law firm. She wanted to delay the hearing and said all messages should go to their lawyer. She ended with a bright warning about complying with community standards. At 7:16, Greg texted in his own voice, "Any more interference with our safety systems, and we call the police." A second text, "This is our airspace." Andre set the phone down, made tea, and opened a fresh page. He wrote 3 headings: wireism, wiretap, preemption. Under each, he listed what he could already prove: camera at window height, likely audio, and the limits of FAA rules. He sealed a second preservation letter, this one to the law firm, and dropped it in the blue mailbox. He liked the solid thunk of certified mail. By lunch, the neighborhood app was buzzing. A careful post from Deborah Kay asked if anyone else had seen a drone near windows. Replies piled up. A Martinez shared a clip of a drone pausing over her baby's room. The New Gens mentioned a citation about evening visitors, her sisters bringing food during chemo. The Brooks family knew. Black posted a shot showing their toddler's nightlight. The pattern was no longer a hunch. Andre didn't jump in. He read, saved screenshots, and asked 2 neighbors for permission to archive their posts for possible civil rights counsel. Both said yes with relief. Natalie's live stream took off. HOA drone. Comments rolled: call the FAA, call the press. A pilot in chat flagged line-of-sight issues. Another called out selective enforcement. At 5:03 p.m., a local reporter DM'd on the record. Andre replied, gathering documents. No comment yet. Public timeline soon. He did not mention his badge. That evening, Marla posted an official note. We can film anything visible from public vantage points. No one is being targeted. The words sounded tidy. Andre replied with 1 line and a link to the statute. Aimed into windows is not a public vantage point. Neighbors filled in the rest: stories about gate stops, parking angles, and visitors questioned. It wasn't all the same, but it rhymed. Greg texted again, "We're calling the police over your cyber games." Andre answered, "Please do. I'll provide your drone's transmission, fingerprints, and my preservation letter." He typed 1 more line for his notes, not the text. Trespass with a camera is a crime. Night fell. The hum came early, bold now. Andre let it roam while his logs did their quiet work. The drone repeated its figure 8 like it owned the path. In the SUV window across the street, his camera caught the reflection: a second proof. Guest cam chirped. New handshake, same clubhouse route. The router bragged again about a port named drone_SYNC to a cloud bucket called compliance_evidence. He still didn't open it. The setup spoke for itself. At 8:22, a knock. Martinez, Nguyen, and Brooks stood on the porch, steady but anxious. They didn't ask to come in. They asked to stand together on the driveway. They watched the blank square of sky. "We thought it was just us," Mrs. Nguyen said. "It's not," Andre said. "What do we do?" Brooks asked. "We document," Andre said. "We save, not shout. We show a pattern. We invite oversight. And if needed, we go to the right authorities." Across the street, Natalie lifted her phone. Her chat blinked. "Press is watching. Stay safe." The cul-de-sac's mood shifted from whispers to wait. The drone slid off into the dark. The clubhouse porch light clicked on, then off, like a twitch. Marla posted one last message. "Please stop spreading misinformation. Policies under review." The sentence tried to close a door and only rattled it. Andre shut his notebook. Complications weren't roadblocks. They were confirmation. Tomorrow might bring lawyers, police, or both. He rinsed his mug, turned out the kitchen light, and listened to the house settle. The quiet wasn't peace, but it was proof the hum was gone, and the next sound would be chosen, not forced. The clubhouse smelled like lemon polish and opinions. Rows of folding chairs faced a wavy projector screen. Andre arrived 5 minutes early. "Third row. I'll seat his usual spot for rooms where people put on a show." Messenger bag. Steel water bottle. Nothing dramatic. Neighbors drifted in, curious but careful. Natalie stood near the back with her phone live. A hand-lettered sign on the table read, "Compliance Hearing Collins," cheerful as a bake sale title. Marla, the HOA president, timed her entrance. Blazer, fixed smile. Greg followed with folders and a mustache that tried to look official. Tina set out paper cups like they were part of the evidence. "Good evening." Marla sang. "We'll be quick so everyone can enjoy their night." She smiled at Andre like he was a guest. "We're here," she said. About hedge height, trash can angle, and unusual activity after dark. She clicked the remote. Up came a twilight shot of Andre's hedge from high and off to the side. No date, no source. Anyone who'd seen drone video knew the angle. A soft murmur ran through the room. For the record, Andre asked, "What camera took that?" Greg cleared his throat. "A community safety device." "Placed where?" "In the neighborhood." Nervous chuckles. Words doing loops. "Mr. Collins," Marla said, "you'll have time for questions after our presentation." "Of course," he said, hands folded. Slide 2. His second-story window, blinds half shut. Slide 3. Recycling lid up an inch. Slide 4. His garage in evening light. Natalie's chat sped up. "That's a drone angle. Is this legal?" Andre stood, walked to the table, and plugged in a small computer. The screen switched to a plain title, Exhibit A, RF telemetry and network logs. No flash. Just facts. A timestamp appeared. The display split, left a radio chart. Right, a simple neighborhood map with 3 points: his house, the clubhouse, and a hovering dot marked UA Sonome. Lines pulsed between them. "This is Tuesday, 9:17 p.m., he said calmly. Controller to aircraft signals with strength and packet counts. The controller's traffic ran through the clubhouse router. He tapped a key. A note popped up. Android Chrome client. DHCP lease. Hostname, HOA office. Greg's mustache twitched. "I also set a guest cam sign-in page," Andre said. New slide. 2 login attempts, time-stamped, one with the default admin. A whisper of laughter. "These moments match a drone over my bathroom window for 34 seconds. He highlighted the bar. "You called it safety. My state calls it something else." Marla's smile thinned. "Where did you get this?" "Data, in my home," he said. "On my property," Greg grumbled. All you had to do was comply. This techno stuff is overkill. Andre brought up Exhibit B, legal framework. Simple phrases, large type, aerial intrusion over curtilage, state voyeurism law, FAA rules and limits. Selective enforcement. The words were for the neighbors. "I'm here for 3 questions," he said, holding up a finger. 1. Did the board get written consent for any aerial surveillance? Silence. 2. Who hired the drone operator? And where is the Part 17 credential? More silence. 3. Where are your chain of custody records camera location, originals, and who handled the files? Marla looked to Greg, then the laptop. "We don't have to answer hostile questions under the state transparency law," Andre said, tapping a printed request. "You do. Maybe not tonight." A neighbor asked, "Are you saying they filmed inside your house?" "I'm saying they hovered a camera at bathroom window height," Andre replied. "Choose your own verb." Tina clicked the next HOA slide. Worse, a night vision still at his bedroom window. People looked away. Andre switched to Exhibit C, pattern and practice. Names, masked. Dates listed, citations that fell harder on certain residents' hedge height. Paint shades, late-night concerns. A pattern you didn't need training to see. "This isn't about trash can angle," he said. "It's about who gets measured and how." He closed the laptop. Before the next hearing, produce the documents. He set a sealed envelope on the table. "This is a preservation letter. Don't delete, move, or edit anything. That includes a cloud bucket named compliance_evidence. Preservation starts now." Marla picked up the envelope like it might sting. Greg's jaw worked. Tina stared at the cups. Andre faced the room. "Thank you for your time." He left. Outside, the cul-de-sac lights came on small halos over neat lawns. He pinned a simple flyer to the notice board. Resident Privacy and Security Forum, Saturday, 10 a.m. No drama. Just an invite. Behind him, the projector clicked to black. Overhead, the sky went from blue to ink. For once, it was quiet. By sunrise, Andre had 10 minutes of radio signal recorded. Not much, but enough to sketch a habit. Habits are where cases begin. He made coffee, opened his new folder, and started a plain log. Times, signal strength. Rough flight paths in simple drawings only he would read later. He marked the places the drone slipped out of range. The moments the controller changed channels, the brief touch to a cloud account. At 8:03 a.m., an email arrived from HOA Compliance cheerful tone. Stiff message, "Good morning, Mr. Collins. Your hedges are too tall sack. 4.13. Trash cans must face the curb." Photos attached. The photo was a twilight shot of his fence and hedge from above. No date, no proof of who took it. A clean picture with its fingerprints wiped. He replied with one line, "Please confirm camera location and photographers. Name for your record." No answer? Fine. He didn't need their help, just their routine. He set a small trap. A cheap guest cam Wi-Fi name that looked like a neighborhood camera sign-in. A fake login page promised neighborhood safety devices. Anyone curious might try the defaults. He didn't want their passwords. He wanted the knock at the door device name, time, and where it came from. He also aimed a tiny camera at his garage window, not to film the drone, but to catch its reflection in the neighbor's SUV if it hovered at the usual angle. A simple trick for a simple street. At 9:17 p.m., the hum returned, easy as a jogger. He was ready. He stood in the dark, phone face down, eyes soft. The drone slid in low, under the fence line, camera tilted. It peered into the kitchen, drifted toward the bedroom, then made a neat figure 8, like it enjoyed being seen. Guest cam chirped. A device called controller_02 tried to sign in. Wrong password once, then the classic admin, admin. He let out a quiet breath. Amateur work. The logs poured in. The controller was rooting through the HOA clubhouse internet. He captured the internal address, the temporary lease, and the browser Typemobile Chrome on a mid-range Android phone. Still no official drone ID, but the rhythm of the signals gave away the class. A common consumer drone with tweaked software to block auto uploads and dodge fences. Do-it-yourself bravado. Across the street, Natalie, the teen who always wore headphones, pointed her phone up and streamed in a whisper. "See, it's back. It's every night." Andre noted it, a witness with a live record. He hadn't asked. That mattered. At 9:22 p.m., the drone paused at his second-story bathroom window. 34 seconds. He marked the time twice. That wasn't safety. That was a line crossed. Next morning, a certified letter arrived like a brick. Notice of intent to lien for unpaid fines. The list was half comedy, half threat. Excessive garage activities. Deliveries after 8 p.m. Non-standard curtain opacity. He pictured Marla, HOA president, enjoying the word opacity. He drove to the clubhouse. Lemon cleaner in the air. Greg at the counter with a golf tan and a mustache that wanted to be a badge. "Mr. Collins," Greg said with a tight smile. "We're just enforcing standards." "I understand," Andre said, and slid a single page across. Public records request under the state HOA transparency law. "I want the names and qualifications of anyone flying drones for the board dates. Times, flight paths, invoices, and any homeowner consent forms." Greg blinked. Try to laugh. "We don't have aerial surveillance." "Then your photos are impossible," Andre said lightly, "and your fines don't stand." Greg's smile thinned. "If you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't object to safety." "Safety without consent is surveillance," Andre replied. "Surveillance without authority is trespass. And where I live," he held Greg's eyes, "that's illegal." Back home, guest cam showed 2 new logins while he'd been at the clubhouse, both from the Clubhouse network, both poking around for cameras. He traced the devices, noted the name HOA office, and watched the router's settings leak. A little secret, a port labeled drone_SYNC pointing to a cloud folder called compliance_evidence. He didn't open the folder. He didn't need to. The setup told the story. That night, the hum came earlier, bolder. He let it roam window to window while his gear wrote down the numbers. Times lined up with committee meetings. A picture formed in quiet lines. He smiled in the dark. Patterns don't lie. People do. Tap like if you're watching, subscribe if you're loving it, and comment if you relate. Andre first thought the sound was a neighbor's air conditioner waking up. A thin hum slid along the roofline and settled over the yard like a big mosquito. He switched off the patio light and let his eyes adjust. A small red light blinked once. The drone moved sideways, its camera turning toward the kitchen window. Quick question before the story: where are you tuning in from? Comment below. I'm reading them all. He didn't shout or grab a broom. He stood still and listened, the way he did at work behind rows of screens. It hovered about half a minute, rose a little, then made to slow circles. Whoever flew it knew what they were doing. It stayed loge under the neighbor's roof, then drifted toward the clubhouse and vanished into the dark dot in the garage. Andre lifted the door halfway and woke up his workbench. He turned on his radio gear and scanner, watching the display fill with color. He wasn't chasing a trespasser. He was collecting proof. The HOA newsletter called these drones eyes in the sky for community safety. Tonight, those eyes looked into his home. His small computer picked up. The drone signaled short bursts between the controller and the craft, a quick touch to a cloud service. No official ID broadcast. Either it was hidden or the drone was old. Sloppy or cocky. Maybe both. A text from the HOA popped up. A hearing next Thursday. The violations list read like nitpicks hedge height, trash can angle, late-night visitors, and his home office. Andre scrolled and kept his face flat. Patterns were puzzles. Puzzles were invitations. Before we begin, just a quick note: 99% of viewers enjoy the videos but don't subscribe. If that's you, please hit subscribe to help me grow. He stepped onto the driveway. The street was quiet, trim lawns, kids' chalk in the cul-de-sac. He breathed in cedar and noticed the new kind of silence after the drone left a hole where privacy used to be. He wasn't angry, not yet. He preferred cold facts to hot feelings. Inside, he stuck a note on the fridge. "Start log tonight," on a small screen behind a photo of his mother's garden. He made a new folder, the way he always did when things got serious. Cases home. Greg jumped to his feet so fast his chair slid. "I resign," he said, voice rough. He snapped off his lanyard and set the badge on the table. The room let out a long breath. Tina's hands shook. "I thought it was just outside checks," she said, eyes wet. "I'm sorry." She put her badge beside Greg's. Marla stayed seated, spine straight. "Let's stay calm," she said, turning the mic like a shield. "There's been a misunderstanding about our safety program." Andre tapped his phone. The speakers played a clean clip. Time-stamped from a week ago, Marla's text dictation finally got proof his late-night garage used the drone. "Get angles that show inside if you can." Silence spread to the ceiling. "That was taken out of context," Marla said. "No," Andre answered, steady. "It was taken from your device." He turned to the neighbors. "Remedies." He slid a one-page motion forward. Deborah Kay stood. "I move to void all fines and cancel all liens based on drone footage." "Second," Mr. Brooks said. Hands went up across the room. The small gavel thumped. Past Andre read the next step from a prepared order. "All surveillance is suspended now. Any HOA drones and controllers are grounded, tagged, and surrendered for forensic imaging." Marcus from 3 houses down, Rydered Air Force, came in carrying a lockbox and seals. Greg pointed to a backpack under the projector cart. "Controllers in there." 2 quadcopters came out of a utility cabinet. Marcus labeled and sealed the lot. "Next," Andre said. "Restitution within 14 days for anyone fined with aerial evidence, fees and interest included." "Second," Mrs. Nguyen said, already taking names. "Hands up, passed, and we bring in outside oversight," Andre continued. "Emergency vote for an interim, neutral property manager. New rules: no aerial surveillance without a court order. Independent ombuds for complaints. Public posting of all enforcement actions. Training on bias and how to step in." In back, the reporter scribbled. Natalie's stream lit up. "About time, post the policy." Marla's voice dropped. "I won't resign. This place is my life." "Let the votes speak," Andre said. Neighbors handed out quick ballots. Slips went into a clear box. Marcus shook it once and Deborah read the totals. It wasn't close. Marla looked at the count as if it might change. At last she stood. "I resign," she said, and set her badge with the others. There was no cheer, just words. "We should have seen it sooner." Deborah told the room. Andre shared signed copies of the motions with the reporter and with Natalie. "Post them," he said. "Process is public." They wound up cables, stacked chairs, and for the first time in a while, the clubhouse smelled like plain lemon oil. On the corkboard, a fresh flyer went up. Resident Privacy and Security Forum Saturday. 10 a.m., all welcome. Outside, sprinklers ticked and a dog tag jingled. Over the roofs, the sky held. No hum, no camera, just air. By month's end, the bylaws read like a new book. The interim manager's first act was the Resident Dignity and Privacy Initiative. Simple rules you could stick on a fridge. No drones without a court order. Period. Independent ombuds handles complaints. Results posted for all to see. Required training on privacy, bias, and how to step in. A public portal lists every citation, result, and appeal, with audit logs. Safety programs are opt-in, never automatic. The change was immediate. Notices stopped sounding like threats and started reading like help tickets. Enforcement shifted from gotcha to fix it. Neighbors who'd kept quiet began to speak in daylight. Meeting agendas opened with 3 lines. Safety without surveillance. Accountability is required. Your home is not a hunting ground. Andre kept his promise to help, not hover. At a folding table in the clubhouse, he and a small tech group showed privacy-smart choices. Doorbell cameras that blur on the device. Neighborhood alerts that share descriptions, not video. And a ban on any big pile of shared footage. He sketched simple diagrams on printer paper and let others take the pen. The story moved beyond the cul-de-sac. Local news ran a calm segment, no sirens, just policy, linked to the toolkit. To nearby HOAs copied the rules within weeks. A third asked for advice. The portal's open templates spread online, with small improvements and clearer wording. On a warm Saturday, the street woke to bicycle bells instead of rotors. Kids drew chalk galaxies across the asphalt. Sprinklers stitched light through the air. Andre slid his laptop into the garage cabinet and pulled the door down halfway. He looked up at the plain blue sky and took an easy breath. Safety taken back. Privacy restored. And a neighborhood learning the difference.